Good evening, everyone. I'm Joy Reid in for Chris Matthews. And we're awaiting a campaign rally in Nashua, New Hampshire from the man who continues to top the Republican presidential polls. Yes, you guessed it, Donald J. Trump. And we'll bring that to you live when it happens. Meanwhile, let's start tonight with what seems to be the frontrunner's attempts to vault right past the primaries and look to a general election matchup with Hillary Clinton. Case in point, Trump's escalating attacks on the man who, legend has it, encouraged him to run for president in the first place, Bill Clinton. According to Trump, the former president and his scandals are fair game for attacks today. Trump tweeted today, if Hillary thinks that she can unleash her husband with his terrible record of women abuse while playing the women card, she's the card on me, she's wrong. On Saturday, he tweeted, Hillary Clinton has announced that she's letting her husband out to campaign, but he's demonstrated a penchant for sexism. So inappropriate. That followed Hillary Clinton's own charge, Hillary Clinton's campaign's own charge of sexism against the Republican frontrunner last week. Trump used a vulgarity last week to describe Clinton's loss to Barack Obama in 2008, and here's how Secretary Clinton responded.
I really deplore the tone of his campaign and the inflammatory rhetoric. It's not the first time he's demonstrated a penchant for sexism. And so I'm not sure, again, anybody's surprised that he just keeps pushing the envelope.
Now, yesterday, Trump made it clear that he was ready and willing to go after the former president as a way of attacking Secretary Clinton.
I think he is fair game because his presidency was really considered to be very troubled, to put it mildly, because of all of the things that she's talking to me about. I mean, she's mentioning sexism. I turned her exact words against her from that standpoint. And she's got to be careful. You know, it's got to be fair. And we all have to fight fairly, and we have to fight, you know, for the good of the country, for the good of the people, for the good of everybody. But we have to fight fairly. And she's playing the woman's card, and it's like, give me a break.
All righty, and late today, the Clinton campaign responded, quote, though Donald Trump has pushed around nearly all of his fellow Republicans, Hillary Clinton won't be bullied or distracted by attacks that he throws at her and former President Clinton. They also announced Bill Clinton will make his first campaign trip for his wife. He'll visit New Hampshire next week. Eugene Robinson is a columnist with the Washington Post and an MSNBC political analyst. Francesca Chambers is White House correspondent for the Daily Mail. And Paul Singer is Washington correspondent for USA Today. Okay, Francesca, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to play the woman card just a little bit. The idea and the irony of Donald Trump accusing Bill Clinton of being sexist and having a penchant for sexism your thoughts?
Well, I think he's trying to take the issue off the table. I think we all remember so well in that first Republican debate when Megyn Kelly came at him with some of the names that he's called women in the past, and he didn't like that very much. And so what I think that Trump was trying to do here was say, look, you know, if you want to call me a sexist, I'm going to bring up some of the things that your husband's done. And I don't think Hillary Clinton necessarily wants him to do that, wants to have that conversation during the presidential race all over again. So she could possibly back off on this issue.
But, you know, Eugene, my question is whether or not it's realistic to expect this campaign to be litigated on the basis of the 1990s. For a lot of younger voters, they probably don't even know what Donald Trump is talking about. Is that smart politics to try to use this sort of throwback strategy against somebody who isn't even running for president? Well,
you're right. A lot of younger voters won't respond. Trump's base probably will respond. These are people who generally probably don't like Bill Clinton very much, and so they'll be, you know, egging him on, I imagine. You know, if you're Hillary Clinton, it seems to me you have to think that you bring Bill Clinton along, and so you bring Bill Clinton's past along, and indeed the whole Bill and Hillary Clinton past along, and that's been litigated and relitigated. I can't imagine that she's unprepared to litigate it again.
Yeah, indeed. And, you know, Trump is, of course, not the first Republican to try this gambit, to try to rile up the Republican base by attacking Bill Clinton. Earlier this year, some of you may recall, Senator Rand Paul repeatedly took swipes at the former president.
He took advantage of a girl that was 20 years old and an intern in his office. There is no excuse for that, and that is predatory behavior.
A predator, a sexual predator, basically, repetitive. There's dozens or at least a half a dozen public women who've come forward. Some of them did sue the job place.
I really think that anybody who wants to take money from Bill Clinton or have a fundraiser has a lot of explaining to do. In fact, I think they should give the money back.
And Republican leader Reince Priebus got in on the act, and he also attacked Bill Clinton, tweeting, "Remember all the Clinton scandals? That's not what America needs again." So, Paul, I'm wondering if Republicans are so wedded to the 90s version of the anti-Clinton playbook that they really kind of can't get off this page.
Well, there's no reason for them to get off this page. I mean, I think this is the double-edged sword that is the Clinton name. And this is something that Hillary Clinton knew she was carrying into the election, is that you have the successes, as the Democrats would phrase it, of the Clinton administration. You would have her successes, as the Democrats would phrase it, of being part of the Obama administration. But you carry years of baggage. If it is a Trump-Clinton campaign in a general election, or in fact, anybody against Hillary Clinton in the general election, we'll be hearing again about the Rose Law Firm billing records, about what happened to Whitewater, about does Bill Clinton have illegitimate children hiding in Alabama someplace. This is going to be part of the conversation because it's part of how you take down a Clinton in